Welcome to the Sajine Clarity Podcast, a space to explore your clarity journey from survival to authenticity. Today's podcast, I'd like to welcome you back. If this is your first time here, my name is Sajine, and this place is where clarity replaces confusion, healing replaces survival, and every conversation is designed to help you become emotionally stronger and more at peace with yourself. I'm grateful that you're here today, whether you're listening while driving to work, sitting in your favorite chair with a cup of coffee, taking a walk outside, or maybe lying in bed because today something feels heavy. Thank you for spending this time with me. I don't take that lightly. Today's episode is deeply personal because every single one of us will eventually face seasons that test us. So I'm happy that you're here. Before we start, a little quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. I'm not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional, and the content shared here is based on personal experiences and insights. If you're facing significant challenges, please seek the support of a qualified professional. Remember, your journey is unique, and you deserve the care and guidance that's right for you. So let's continue this. Some of us are walking through divorce, some are battling illness, some are dealing with anxiety or depression, some are grieving people who are still alive but no longer part of our lives. Others are trying to rebuild financially after years of setbacks. Some are healing from toxic relationships. Some are simply exhausted from being the person who always has to be strong. Life doesn't ask us if we're ready. It simply arrives. And sometimes it arrives all at once. I know many of you feel like you've been climbing uphill for years. You finally overcome one obstacle, then another one appears. You begin wondering, when do I finally get a break? When does life become easier? When do I finally get to breathe? I understand that feeling. But today, I don't want to simply encourage you. I want to equip you, because encouragement fades, knowledge stays, strength grows, wisdom changes. By the end of today's episode, I hope you don't just feel inspired. I hope you understand yourself better. I hope you understand why difficult seasons change us. And I hope you leaving believing that your future is not determined by your current circumstances. It's determined by the person you choose to become while you're walking through them. So let's begin. Today's episode, as you can see, is called You Are Stronger Than This Moment, the quiet strength that will carry you through. You know, life doesn't ask for permission, does it? One of the hardest truths we eventually learn is this. Life doesn't ask if today is a good day for hardship. Oh boy, I can tell you that. Sometimes you'll be having a good day and then it just smacks you right in the face, right? It doesn't wait until we're financially prepared, emotionally prepared, physically healthy, or even mentally rested. Sometimes life simply says, it's your turn. Not because you're being punished, even though sometimes I feel like I am. I don't even know why. Maybe it's just the way that I was raised, right? Or how I was in my last marriage. Not because you're weak, but because hardship is part of being human. The problem is that many of us secretly believe that if we're good people, if we pray enough, if we help enough people, if we work hard enough, life should reward us by avoiding pain. For my Christian people, I just thought about it. The Bible says that we are saved by Him, right? And not by what? By works. And in some way, as I think about this, if we pray enough, if we help enough, if we work hard enough, we can avoid pain. But didn't God say that life would have trials and tribulations. He didn't say that you would just, if you did all these little secretive little movements in life and steps, you would be without pain, right? That was never promised to us. But what was promised is that he would walk with us and we would go through it, right? Pain is guaranteed. Why? Because we're humans. We feel. We have nerves. We have a soul. We have a brain. Growth is optional. Oh, yes, it is. You can either sit there and just wallow in it, or you can learn and move forward. And I'm not going to shame you if you stop, because sometimes we have to stop, right? That's where our choices begin. The lie we tell ourselves, many people believe, when this problem disappears, then I'll be happy. Oh my gosh, how many times have I told myself that? When I lose the weight, then I'll love myself. When I get the promotion, then I'll feel successful. When my health improves, then I'll enjoy life. When someone finally loves me, then I'll feel worthy. That's an if and when statement. I know. I learned how to do coding. So if you've learned coding, you'll understand me. The if and when statement. Notice what we're doing. We're placing our peace in the future. We're making joy conditional. We're waiting for life to give us permission to feel okay. But healing doesn't begin after everything gets fixed. Healing begins the moment you decide your circumstances no longer get to decide your identity. That changes everything. There is strength you haven't met yet. I have to think about muscles. No one walks into a gym on the first day and lifts the heaviest weights. No, you'd die. And you'd feel it the rest of the week. Strength develops because resistance exists. The resistance isn't evidence you're failing. The resistance is the reason you're becoming stronger. Because if it's too, lenient, quick, and you don't feel a burn or even weight, or like it says here, resistance, then we don't get work. Emotional resilience works exactly the same way. Every difficult conversation, every boundary, every disappointment, every setback, every tear, every lonely night, every doctor's appointment, every unanswered prayer. They're developing emotional muscles that comfort never could. None of us would choose suffering, but suffering often introduces us to what? To strength we never knew we possessed. Years from now, you'll look back and realize, I didn't know I could survive that. I didn't know I could rebuild. I didn't know I could forgive. I didn't know I could become this peaceful. The version of you that's coming would make the old version incredibly proud. And don't forget it. Sometimes the new you comes with such great strength. When people don't show up, let's talk about something that hurts almost everyone. Disappointment. Sometimes the people you believed would help just don't. Sometimes family doesn't understand. Friends disappear. Church communities fail you. Coworkers become silent. The people you carried for years can't seem to carry you for 5 minutes. That hurts. It hurts deeply. And for a while, we begin asking, why didn't they help me? Didn't they see I was drowning? Didn't they notice I was struggling? But here's something I've learned. Not everyone has the emotional capacity to meet us where we are. Some people don't help because they don't care. Others don't help because they generally don't know how. Some people are drowning themselves. Others were never taught empathy. Some people only know how to receive support and not give it. And while their absence hurts, your healing doesn't have to stop there. Sometimes disappointment becomes redirection. Instead of showing you who will always be there, it shows you where not to keep investing your expectations. Sometimes life gently says, they are not your source. Keep walking. That doesn't mean becoming bitter. It means becoming wiser, because healing often requires us to stop chasing unavailable people. Community matters. One of the greatest lies trauma teaches us is, I have to do everything alone. Many of us become independent because we had to. We learn not to ask for help, not because we're strong, but because asking often led to disappointment. So we stopped asking. We carried everything ourselves. We became the helper, the fixer, the peacemaker, the strong one, until one day we were exhausted. Here's what I want you to hear today. There is strength in independence, but there is wisdom in healthy interdependence. We weren't created to heal in complete isolation. Healing grows in safe conversations, in communities where people listen instead of judge, where honesty is welcomed, where your story doesn't make people uncomfortable. That's why I wanted to build this community. Not because I have every answer, but because sometimes the greatest gift we can give another human being is simply saying, I understand. I've been there. Keep going. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You are becoming. And sometimes those few words are enough to help someone take one more step, one more day, one more deep breath, and sometimes one more chance at believing in themselves. Stop waiting until you feel ready. One of the biggest misconceptions about healing is that one day you'll wake up and finally feel motivated. You'll feel confident, you'll feel brave, you'll feel ready. But life rarely works that way. Most of the meaningful decisions you'll make happen while you're still scared. You apply for that job while doubting yourself. You leave the unhealthy relationship while your heart is breaking. You begin exercising while your body feels weak. You start therapy while you're still overwhelmed. You set boundaries while your voice is shaking. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing your future over your comfort. Think about that. Every person you admire has acted before they felt completely prepared. If we waited until fear disappeared, very little in life would ever change. Instead of asking yourself, do I feel ready? Ask a better question. What is the next healthy step? Not the next 10, not the next year, just that next one. Healing happens one decision at a time. Small choices build extraordinary lives. We often underestimate what consistency can do. We celebrate dramatic transformations, but most lives aren't changed dramatically. They're changed quietly. One glass of water instead of soda. One evening walk. One boundary. One difficult conversation. One therapy appointment. One encouraging book. One prayer. One journal entry. One more morning where you choose hope instead of hopelessness. None of these seem life-changing, but together, they're everything. Imagine placing $1 into a jar every single day. It doesn't seem significant until months later. The same is true emotionally. Every healthy choice is making a deposit into your future self. You're becoming someone different long before you notice the results. Growth is often invisible before it is obvious. Don't quit because the progress feels slow. Roots grow underground before trees reach the sky. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. Many of us unknowingly rehearse fear. I'm too old. I'm too broken. I always fail. No one chooses me. I'm behind. I'm not attractive enough. I'm too emotional. I'll never get there. Eventually, your brain stops questioning those statements. It accepts them as truth. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to become efficient. Whatever you repeat most often becomes familiar, and familiarity begins to feel like reality. That's why we have to become aware of our inner dialogue. Not every thought deserves your agreement. Some thoughts were planted by childhood, some by toxic relationships, some by shame, some by rejection. some by people who protected their own fears onto you. Projected. Your healing journey includes learning to ask, whose voice am I hearing? Is it yours? Is it your parent, your ex, a teacher? A culture that taught you your value depended on productivity. Awareness is powerful because once you identify the voice, you can choose whether it will still deserve influence. Your body has been listening too. We often think healing only happens in our minds, but your body has been carrying your story too. Maybe your shoulders stay tense, your jaw is always tight, your stomach hurts, your breathing is shallow. Maybe you wake up exhausted even after sleeping. Trauma isn't only remembered by the mind. The body remembers survival. For years, some of us lived waiting for the next argument, the next criticism, the next rejection, or even the next emergency. Eventually, our nervous system learns, stay alert, even when life becomes safer. Our body doesn't always receive the message. That's why healing isn't simply positive thinking. It's learning how to teach your body that today is different from yesterday. Sometimes that means slowing your breathing, walking outside, stretching, praying, listening to peaceful music, laughing, getting sunlight, sleeping, eating nourishing foods, giving you permission to rest without guilt. Your body deserves healing too. There will always be another mountain. Sometimes we believe that once we overcome this obstacle, life will finally become easy. But if we're honest, life is made of seasons. There'll always be another challenge. Children grow up, parents age, jobs change, bodies change, finances, relationships all change. The goal isn't creating a life without problems. It's becoming someone who knows how to move through problems without losing themselves. That's emotional maturity. You're no longer asking, how do I avoid suffering? No, you're asking, how do I remain grounded while suffering? That changes everything. What if this season is preparing you? One question has helped me through some incredible, difficult seasons. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? I ask, what is this teaching me? Notice the difference. The first question leaves us powerless. The second invites growth. Maybe this season is teaching patience, discernment, boundaries, courage, faith, self-respect, compassion, resilience. Pain is a difficult teacher, but it often teaches lessons comfort never could. One day you'll look back and realize the season you wanted to escape was quietly preparing you for the life you were praying for. And you'll understand why you need strength before the opportunity arrived. Because opportunities can elevate you, but only character can sustain you. I'm happy that you're here. And it's important for me for you to continue on your healing journey. I have some journal prompts that I want to give you, so that way you can write them down and do something better for yourself. 1, what is one challenge in my life right now that is asking me to grow instead of break? 2, where am I waiting for external change instead of taking one small step forward? 3, what beliefs about myself were given to me by pain, fear, or other people, and are they actually true? 4, what would the strongest version of me do in this exact season of life? 5, what is one thing I can release today that is no longer mine to carry? Whew, that's a lot. It's all a lot to come into your head to realize, right? So something before you leave. Whatever you're carrying today, you don't have to carry it perfectly. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to have every answer. You only have to keep taking the next healthy step. Healing isn't measured by perfection. It's measured by persistence. Every day you choose not to give up, you're already succeeding. Every boundary you set, every tear you allow yourself to cry, every moment you choose kindness towards yourself, Every time you decide to begin again, you're becoming stronger than the version of yourself who first entered this storm, and that deserves to be celebrated. Before we end today, I want to speak directly to you. Not the version of you that feels put together, not the version that looks strong on the outside, but the version of you that is tired, overwhelmed, quietly carrying more than most people will ever know. You did not find this episode by accident. You needed this reminder. Life is not always gentle. People are not always consistent. Healing is not always linear. And sometimes the weight you carry feels like too much for one person. But listen carefully. You were never meant to carry everything perfectly. You were meant to learn, grow, release, rebuild, and continue. Even slowly, even imperfectly, even uncertainly. What matters most is not how fast you move forward, it's that you don't abandon yourself while you do it. So if today is a hard day, don't measure your worth by your productivity. If today is confusing day, don't assume you're failing. If today is heavy day, don't assume it will always be this way. This is a moment in your life, not the conclusion of it. And one day, you will look back at this exact season and realize something powerful. You didn't just survive it, you were shaped by it. You were strengthened by it, and you became someone you are proud of. If this episode helped you today, I want you to know something important. You're part of this community now, not because your life is perfect, but because you're choosing not to give up on yourself. And that matters more than you know. Until next time, keep choosing one small step. Choosing honesty over avoidance. Keep choosing yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. I'll see you in the next episode.